'Tis the season to fill your home with the plants that will brighten up the dark winter days. So Frank is here to share his top picks, starting with the quintessential plant of Christmas. Frankie, how did the poinsettia become such a holiday staple?
Well, the poinsettia, and we can see it comes in many different colors as well. It's actually a Mexican weed. It was discovered by the American ambassador to Mexico in the 1800s, and his name was Sir Joel R. Poinsett. And he saw this plant that turned color right around Christmas, and because of that, it became one of the #1 and is the #1 potted plants in the entire world, and now comes in an array of different colors and even different types as well. This one over here is called the poinsettia. And this poinsettia, you can see a little bit of a smaller foliage in terms of its leaf, and it's the leaf that changes color. It doesn't go into bloom. It's just like those fall colors you see outdoors. Based on the shortness of days, that's why it changes its blooms. And it really is great. It can add to any decor. You can see there's different variations of white as well. This one's here more creamy white to that bright white as well. So any type of color that you want, you pretty much can get it now in the poinsettia.
Yeah, I love them. I love the sort of traditional red, but I've heard something about them being poisonous. Is that just for pets? Is that for people? Is it true?
Well, you know what? If it was poisonous, this here would be crazy for me to do. Doesn't taste good.
So not poisonous.
At all. Not poisonous to humans. It comes from a plant called the Euphorbia. So it's a really, yeah, it's terrible, by the way. It's really almost like a very fibrous plant that has a white kind of little secretion that comes out. And this here can cause sickness in pets and also could cause some sickness in even a young child. So really, if you have children and or pets that are thinking about going to eat something, it's a plant that I would stay away from, but it's not one that you should fear. It's an old wise tale that it is indeed poisonous. It won't cause death to any pets, but it could cause them a big vet bill overall.
Okay, well, that is good to know. Thanks for clearing that up. And don't eat any more of that. Let's talk about succulents now.
Yeah, no.
What have you got?
Well, when it comes to a beautiful succulent plant, if you're looking for something for Christmas, and this here is the plant that can outlive the average cat, and we're just talking about kittens, this is called the Christmas cacti. And Christmas cacti are plants that last generations. People have them 50, 60, even 70 years old. Very easy to take care of. It's a succulent that it blooms based upon the shortness of days as well. So that's why this has become something that's popular around Christmas and or Easter. It's still the same type of cacti, but it's called the Christmas cacti just because of the time it flowers overall.
Frankie, how big does that guy actually get, the cacti?
These guys here, if they're about 50 and 60 years old, they'll start to get bigger and bigger and bigger. In terms of height, it'll just trail over, but it can become quite the big plant. But what you can do is take little segments of it off and root those segments, and it can become a generational plant that all of a sudden you can be, that's the Christmas cacti that I got from Grandma or Great-Grandpa. You'll have many of our viewers that are probably watching today probably have these in their homes that have lasted for generations and generations, that have had stories. Really easy to take care of as well. They like their feet a little bit tight, so they don't need to be repotted that often. So they're a fantastic looking plant. Do you like a little bit of fragrance when it comes to Christmas as well?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I miss getting a real tree, but does that one smell good?
This here is something that you can get in terms of your home and gives you almost the appearance of a tree, but is not a Christmas tree. It's a rosemary tree. So what we can do is have this decorative on the center of our table that we can even pick off it and add it to some of our different meals that are out there. Rosemary trees as well come in a couple different colors as well. You can see you can get a silver one foliage and you get the traditional rosemary tree. These guys here, as long as you keep them a little bit more on the drier side, they'll last for you. And speaking of different types of trees as well that you can add inside your home just for decor, this is called the lemon cypress. It's a tree as form as well, which is quite nice. And if you're looking for something outside of a Christmas tree, and you can get these larger, this is the Norfolk Island pine. The Norfolk Island pine, you can get this in 5, 6 feet in height, and you could decorate it. The only thing is with these guys, their branches are not that strong, so they really don't hold ornaments well. But those are some different variations of trees that you could have outside of that Christmas tree if you don't have a real Christmas tree in your home.
Now, Frankie, this is a question for you, since you're the plant guy. What is your absolute favorite Christmas plant? Are you a traditionalist? Are you the red poinsettia? What is it?
Well, as a family, we've been growing poinsettias for quite some time, and I get a little bit sick of the poinsettia over time. I like it at the beginning of the season, but then later on, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of done with it. But probably something that I really like that lasts a long time, and it's not really a Christmas plant, But this one here, when you get it in red, can be a nice for Christmas decor. This is called anthurium. And anthurium is a tropical plant that lasts all season long. And what I like it at Christmas, you get the red, but also you can see how it's almost the shape of a heart. So I would rather have a little bit of love. But when it comes to anthurium, it's an air purification plant. It's one I love, and it's probably one that we don't grow, so it's probably the reason why I like it. Sometimes when you have something around you all the time, you don't really appreciate it, but this one here I do appreciate. That's anthurium.
See, I knew you'd have the perfect answer. Thank you, Frank.